Layers not only give us control and functionality to adjust our images and designs inside of Photoshop, but we can actually export those layers out as images themselves. And this is really great if you're doing something like web design work, where you can go ahead and create the design of the whole web page, and then you can export out the individual images that you need to send to the developer or to create that web page. So to do that, we can do it a couple different ways. We can select one of the layers and we can right click on it, or we can go to the panel options and you'll see it says quick export as PNG or export as. And then we can also go to the top and click on layer and then go to export as. Now right now I have plate 5. I can do export as, and it'll bring up the export document window here. So this looks like any other time that we save out an image. However, you can see it's just that layer, and it's actually condensed it down to just the boundaries of the pixels. So it was a full-size layer, but because there's only this image pixel information and the rest is transparent, it cropped it down to this image size. So we can say if we want to make this a JPG, a PNG, a GIF, or a SVG. We can give it transparency if we need to have that, which in this case we would, and then we can adjust the image size, the height, scale, and everything else that you would normally do to export out an image. So this is a great way if you create a layer that you like, or for some reason you need to have that layer out as a separate image, you can do that. Now something else you can do is instead of selecting them all or exporting them one at a time, you can export all layers at one time. So if I go to the top and I go to File and I go down to Export, you can see at the bottom that there is a Layers to Files button. So if I click on that, it brings up a different dialog box. It tells us where we want our destination to be. So this is fine. And then it says File Name Prefix. So it's going to call all the layers with a prefix name. We'll just call it plates is fine. We can say if we want visible layers only, so if we have some hidden and some visible, we can check that here. What do we want the file type to be? So we can save all these layers out as separate PSD files if we want to do that. But let's just go ahead and turn these into PNG files. And we'll include the ICC profile, we'll leave transparency on, and everything else stay the same. We'll run this, and then what happens is it's going to save out every single one of these layers as individual files that we can bring in and adjust separately as if they were separate files. So we'll let that finish. And then it says export layers to files was successful. So we hit OK. Now let's go and open them up and see what it looks like. So now we have all of these different files. So we have our original plates image, we have our plates PSD, and then we have plates 000, 001, 002, and it actually kept the name of the layer. So we can see that plates 004 is actually plates 1 was the layer, and plates 005 is background. So it looks like that it's actually counting them from top down. So we might want to go in the layers and maybe rename these, but this is okay. Now I can select and open all of these up separately. These are all separate PNG files. And then here we have them all at the top. We have our background PNG. I never removed the plates, so they're actually still there. But we have all of our separate images. And then if we wanted to reconstruct these, we could grab these layers and we could edit them, or we could bring them back into another Photoshop. So that is a quick and easy way to export out all of your layers at one time. Again, this is great for things like web design where you have a ton of images and you don't want to have to spend time exporting out each layer. You can export all the images at one time and have one file folder with all of your web designed images in one place.